This time on DCTV, it's time to get started. So, without further ado, so you may be wondering, where do you start with a project like this? And that's actually an easier question than you might think, because at the moment the steel on this is all completely naked, and also with the exception of a couple of seam welds that Ricky's done there prior to me owning it, the rest of the frame is all completely tack welds. So one of the first things to do is going to be to seam weld this lot, which is actually fantastic. It means there's no money outlay, there's no engineering involved. All I need is my welder, which I've got, and some gas, which I've got, and some wire, which I've got, and I can just sit there and happily like that. Brilliant. Get the momentum started. The reason I said that's one of the first things to do is because there's another first thing to do, which is to get this rust protected. As you can see, this place is not really ideal for working on building a race car. It's a gravel driveway and that's it. And I don't have a garage to put it in, I don't have a workshop, I don't care, I'm going to build it anyway. But it does mean it's going to need some rust protection. So, one of the first things to do is going to be to coat the whole frame in red oxide primer. However, in order to get to it, to do it properly, what I need to do is fix this bit to this bit. The moment that's tack welded, and I don't want to pull it off in case I don't get it back on in the right place. So the very first job is going to be to put some brackets, which should go from the seatbelt mounts there onto the frame here, so that it bolts on and it's removable and it goes into exactly the right place when it goes back on. Then the job will be to rip the body off and seam weld the frame and then prime it in red oxide primer to protect it from the weather. Right, so as the absolute genius Ricky pointed out, that the best points to start from would be the seatbelt mounting points. They're very strong and they are in nice proximity to the frame. So first job number one of this build, literally the first thing I've done other than put it on the drive and stick a cover on it, is going to be these little tabs. Right, first welds of the build. Let's go. So with these two little brackets done, there's one, there's the other, nicely welded on. That means the next jobs are to start welding the frame, get the body off, paint it all with a nice coat of red oxide primer to stop the frame from rusting. I'm as happy as a pig in Right, the body's held onto the frame by a little tack weld in each corner of the sills, and obviously these bolts as well. So I'm just going to whip the tacks off, and then we should be ready to whip the body off. Right then dudes, with the body off the car, I can access everything now. So just got to carry on welding and welding and welding till it's all done. Right, that's all the welds that I can get to from the top of the car. So the next thing is to get all the ones that are underneath. And I think the easiest way to do that is going to be to flip it over. I appear to have rolled my Zakspeed. Hopefully this won't become a habit. Right then dudes, that's every single joint on the frame, seam welded all the way around. So the next step is going to be to grind them down underneath. Now I know there's a lot of welding elitists out there who are going to be, ooh, grinders and paint, make me the welder I ain't. That's not what I'm doing. The bottom of it needs to be completely flat. And the reason is because there's going to be a skin riveted or screwed directly underneath to the frame. And if I've got lumpy bumpy welds, it won't sit flat at all, will it? Okay, start grinding. So the whole frame is welded, all the welds underneath the car are ground flat, ready for the floor. So the next step to stop this thing rusting over the winter is to get some paint on it. That's it for this episode of DCTV. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you head on over to Instagram and Facebook, you can follow my pages there as well. See you next time.
Yeah, we have, it'll work. Just not a fan.